Hey, it's Tom
and Mike
from Take Time to Travel.
Alfama is one of Lisbon's most picturesque neighborhoods, filled with charming narrow walking streets leading to absolutely incredible lookout points, as well as the ancient São Jorge Castle. Of course, Alfama has lots of delicious food too. Today, we're going to take you on a tour of the neighborhood, try some of its amazing eateries, and show you what makes it so special.
We'll start by the Fado Musuem, which has many exhibits showcasing the history of traditional Portuguese fado music, and just across from it is the quaint old Alfama Square. Continuing a little bit further, along Rua dos Bacalhoeiros, we passed by colorful old buildings until we came to this portion of the attractive walking street, which was painted blue and lined with inviting restaurants and patios. Rua dos Bacalhoeiros sure is gorgeous.
For lunch, we decided to go to the restaurant Maria Catita. Inside the eatery, the raw stone walls and the shelves filled with wine bottles was very appealing. But it was a lovely day, so we chose to sit on their terrace and enjoy the scenery. We started off with a couple of nice cold Estrella Damm beers to drink, followed by the sardine fillets with tomato risotto and fried butterflied sardines, and their specialty, the Maria Catita salt cod, with turnip greens, crushed jacket potatoes, cornbread, and herbs. Both dishes were excellent, but the salt cod was our favorite. Overall, we really enjoyed our meal on Maria Catita's terrace, and we can see why it's so popular. But let's keep going and continue to explore more of Alfama.
We found some beautiful flowers throughout the neighborhood, as well as many steep hills and staircases, leading to a winding maze of charming cobblestone streets filled with tourists checking out the many quaint little souvenir shops and cute eateries. One of the highlights for us, and something that you must do while you're wandering through Alfama's narrow walking streets, is finding one of these tables or counters with women selling the traditional Portuguese cherry liqueur Ginja that can be served in these mini edible chocolate cups. So of course, we each had to get one, which only cost €1.50 a piece. They were a sweet little treat that we both enjoyed. The Ginja went very well with the chocolate cup.
Now, let's head over to one of Alfama's most recognizable landmarks, the Lisbon Cathedral, sometimes just simply called the Sé. Built in 1147, this much photographed church is the oldest in the city and has survived many earthquakes. The cathedral is especially photogenic, with the famous 28 tram passing by out front. You can get tickets to go inside for €5 each. We didn't do this, but if you did, let us know what it was like in the comment section.
Just a 5-minute walk uphill from the Sé, we found this beautiful flowering bush on our way over to the Miradouro de Santa Luzia lookout point, which has a lovely garden out front, as well as this delightful vine-covered pergola. Let's head over there and get a closer look.
There was a fantastic view overlooking the tiled rooftops, as well as the Tagus River and even a couple of docked cruise ships. The Santa Luzia observation deck sure is attractive. We can definitely see why it's so popular. We visited in early May, and there were already lots of leaves on the vines. It's probably much more full later in the summer and fall, but year-round there's always this wonderful view. But let's keep moving. There's another scenic spot nearby.
A few minutes walk away, just past all of these street vendors, you'll find this even more expansive viewpoint called Miradouro das Portas do Sol. This spectacular panoramic view reminds us of why we love Lisbon so much. Alfama really is an incredibly beautiful neighborhood.
Just next to the observation deck, there's a patio perfectly positioned to enjoy the scenery. You can get snacks and drinks here at the Portas do Sol kiosk. We decided to get a couple of Somersby apple ciders with some glasses of ice, which was a perfect choice on this sunny day. This is definitely a great budget option for a drink with an exceptional view in Lisbon.
Now let's keep going about 5 minutes away by foot to check out one of Lisbon's most popular landmarks, which attracts millions of tourists like us each year. Just like all of these people, we lined up to buy tickets to see the historic São Jorge Castle. And after about 30 minutes, we made it inside, where we first entered into a large terrace square, from which you can get numerous panoramic perspectives of the city of Lisbon. It was a breathtaking start to our tour of the castle.
A little bit further, we found some old cannons and some more great views, which made for a lovely spot for a selfie. Every corner we turned, there was a different fantastic outlook over the city.
As we continued to explore the perimeter of the São Jorge Castle, we saw some more of the fortification's armaments positioned for defense. We found them interesting to see in person. Now, if you've enjoyed the video so far, then please make sure to like and subscribe to let us know that you appreciate this type of content. It would mean a lot to us.
After taking in yet another spectacular expansive perspective overlooking the beautiful city of Lisbon, we made our way over to the main attraction, the historic fortress. As we were walking over there, through the landscaped pathways, we were surprised to find lots of peacocks roaming around. Some of them were putting on quite a show for the crowd, strutting around with their tail feathers all fanned out and showing off their vibrant colors.
Following that delightful distraction, we finally made it to the ancient castle and walked across the stone bridge that crosses over top of the moat. It really felt like we were stepping back in time, crossing under this thick stone wall. The first fortifications on this site date back to the 1st century BC, when Lisbon was classified as a Roman municipality. It's been occupied by the Phoenicians, Carthaginians, Romans, and Moors before its conquest by the Portuguese in the 1147 Siege of Lisbon.
Let's head up these stairs and check out the ramparts, which wrap around the castle. And from there, we climbed another set of stone stairs up to one of the castle's many towers. Up here, we found the parapets and arrow slits where archers would have defended the castle. It's amazing how thick they built the stone fortification walls. And there's 10 of these towers located around the perimeter of the castle. Now let's go back down to the ramparts and see what else there is.
Next, we went up the Torre de Menagem, or the Tower of Keep, which had an even better vantage point than the previous one, especially looking down towards the Tagus River, where they would have spotted enemy vessels approaching. Now let's keep going and head over to the other side of the castle. From this end, the fortification's walls had a gorgeous view overlooking the rooftops of the Baixa Chiado neighborhoods, which made a fantastic background for our selfie. And as we continued to walk along the ramparts, we were treated to some more spectacular vistas of this beautiful city.
There was also a long steep staircase down to another tower, but we didn't check it out, since there were more than enough exceptional views up here, and people seemed exhausted climbing back up on this hot day.
We think the São Jorge Castle is really impressive. Being built up on the top of the hill, it has breathtaking views in all directions. But let's continue on and see what else there is to do here.
Just outside of the historic castle's stone walls, there were also ancient ruins. And heading back towards the other side of the fortification, there's a charming little museum with a collection consisting of objects found on site, with an emphasis on the Moorish period from the 11th to 12th centuries, although some artifacts date back to the 7th century BC, making for an interesting tour.
But let's keep moving and grab something cheap and tasty to eat at a super popular eatery that always has a big lineup. It's a great budget option in Alfama called As Bifanas do Afonso.
The line actually moved pretty fast, and it took us about 15 minutes to get to the front and place our order. A few minutes after that, our food was ready, and we added our toppings. Then we went to find a place to sit in the shade. We sat down and began our meal with their specialty, the Bifana with cheese sandwich, which was filled with tender pork slices inside that we really enjoyed. Next, we tried the breaded green beans, which were just okay. They weren't crispy. And after that, I decided to try the breaded chicken sandwich, which was quite tasty. We also ordered the breaded fish sandwich. That was pretty good too. It's hard to believe everything only cost €10.20. It's no wonder why there's always a lineup. It's a great value.
Next, let's walk 5 minutes to a popular Portuguese dessert place called Pastelaria Santo Antonio. We'll make our way in and give this pastry shop a try. Inside, we could see them making fresh tarts, and there were also lots of appetizing pastries and sandwiches on display in the front counter.
After placing our order, we headed upstairs to their dining area so that we could eat our pastéis de nata or Portuguese custard tarts. They were delicious and were Tom's favorite pastéis de nata in Lisbon. Another great thing about this place was the fantastic view that we had from our table overlooking the photogenic streets of Lisbon.
Now let's wander along these narrow streets in Alfama over to another cool place to see. After a scenic walk, we made it over to the Miradouro de Santa Estêvão. It's another one of Alfama's beautiful lookout points. If you enjoyed our tour of Lisbon's vibrant and historic Alfama neighborhood, then make sure to check out our food tour in Lisbon's Time Out Market and our day trip to the magical town of Sintra.
And remember, take time to travel. Catch you on the next one.